Up next on The Bottom Line, the nationwide search for a new planning director ends, and the selection is no stranger to Montgomery planning. We'll introduce you to two young ladies who saved a 12-year-old boy from drowning, and they say they were just doing their job. And in our Montgomery Moment segment, we'll visit a sanctuary where some lucky farm animals get a new lease on life. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Susan Kennedy. After a year-long search, the Montgomery County Planning Department has found its new director. Gwen Wright comes to the county with decades of experience in top planning jobs in Alexandria, Virginia, and right here in Montgomery County. She's been on the job just a few weeks, and it's full speed ahead.
I feel like I've sort of jumped on a fast-moving train, and I'm doing my best to hang on.
Gwen Wright is back in familiar territory as the new director of the Montgomery County Planning Board. She left the agency back in 2008 after 21 years for a planning job with the city of Alexandria. She told us the challenges that face both communities are similar.
A big part of what I see my position as is trying to talk to property owners, trying to talk to both residential and commercial owners to build a vision and find a way that we can have a sort of consortium of folks getting together and saying, let's move forward on trying to create connections, make use of transit, and really develop great communities.
She says Montgomery County has a great transit infrastructure that will be key in future growth. Current plans for the Purple Line and a bus transitway will allow planners to create neighborhoods that will be livable.
It's what I like to call sort of 10-minute living, where you can live in a place and in 10 minutes easily and quickly get to your job, perhaps, to a grocery store, to health care, to a school.
And she says the fact that Montgomery County has great suburban, urban, and rural areas make this a planner's dream.
Folks have asked me frequently if I have a vision, and what I've said is I think Montgomery County is so big you can't have just one vision. You really have to have a much more multifaceted vision for a place that is so multifaceted. It's not very often a lifeguard has to pull a struggling swimmer from a pool, but if that were to occur, I guarantee you'd want Abby Fry and Colleen Ham on the job. Thanks to their quick, life-saving actions, the life of a 12-year-old boy was saved. It started as any other ordinary day on the job for Abby Fry. As a lifeguard at the Little Falls Pool in Bethesda, she had worked many a crowded summer day.
There were tons of people in the pool. There were a lot of people playing around in the well, so it was very crowded there. And there were a group of boys that were playing in the well, and they alerted me that their friend was underwater and hadn't come up for a while.
It was at that moment her training kicked in and she signaled for an emergency. Pool manager Colleen Ham sprung into action as well.
I was on the deck when she blew the whistle, and as she jumped in, we don't hear it often. This is our first rescue. So when I saw her jump in, that's when I cleared the pool, there's another lifeguard who opens the gates to get everyone off the deck, not just out of the pool. Telling people this is a real thing, you please exit right now.
I pulled him to the side of the pool, and then Colleen helped me pull him out, and she started CPR.
Within minutes, the young boy, who was a guest at the pool that day, was coughing and breathing.
The chest compressions definitely helped. When he came to after 2 rounds, he coughed up the water. We also had a member come over who is a physician, and he helped us keep track of the pulses and how he was doing. But once he woke up, it was all up from there. It was great.
Since the incident, the young boy has been back to the pool several times and has even had a few swimming lessons. The pool has a new rule, too. Even guests will take a swim test before getting in the water.
When someone passes the swim test, they get to sign their name down, they get a little certificate, and then we know that they can go in the deep end on their own.
And for their heroics, both Abby and Colleen were recognized by the Montgomery County Department of Fire and Rescue Services with an Everyday Hero Award.
Were you in swim practice?
No,
You just
I
did
have a
that.
swim meet today.
But both girls accept the honor with great humility.
It's a huge honor, and I'm very thankful for the fire department and everybody.
You know, my dad's a physician, and his comment after it all happened was, you know, just another day at work. Like, you're expected to respond like this when it happens, and that's what we're here for.
It's a well-known fact that Montgomery County is the economic engine of the state, but it's so much more than that, as most folks who live here know. But did you know that Montgomery County had more than 1 million visitors last year? Kelly Groff heads the county's Conference and Visitors Bureau, and it's her job to let folks know what is going on in our area. We got some FaceTime with her, and she told us just a few of the things that make Montgomery County such a great place to visit. Kelly, here we are in downtown Rockville, one of the county's most newly updated cities. It's looking beautiful today with a lot of kids outside enjoying the park and the water park here. Talk a little bit about what your office does to promote towns like Rockville.
Well, our mission is to take everything that we have here in Montgomery County and market it and promote it to people outside of Montgomery County so that they come here, they spend their money, they stay in our hotels, they eat in our restaurants, they spend a lot of money, and then they go home. Last year, 4 million visitors came to Montgomery County that were day trip visitors. 3 million were overnight. So it's a total of almost 7 million visitors a year that come to Montgomery County. And what they do is they've left behind in an annual period of like $1.7 billion of spending.
That's my next question. You must have to work very closely with the businesses and government here to make sure you're getting the message out at the right time.
Yes. And the stakeholders are the hospitality businesses, the hotels, and then the government side of this that we're trying to help is to increase the tax base. Because as more people come and visit and stay overnight, they're paying hotel taxes. And that's how our funding is based also.
Now, I know that recently you got a little chunk of money from the county council. Are there any specific plans on how that funding is going to be used?
The big first project is to develop a county-wide calendar of events. If you're a resident, you have to go to a lot of different sites to find out what's happening in the county. So we're going to try and create a way to funnel all that information to one calendar, so no matter where you are in the county, you can find out what's happening at any given time.
Forbes magazine just rated Bethesda and Gaithersburg 2 of the safest places to live in Montgomery County. That's going to make your job a little bit easier. Folks are going to want to come here.
Anything that happens on the business sector side, any promotion that the county gets in any capacity is always good.
Tell us what makes Montgomery County a great place to visit.
Well, our proximity to Washington, D.C., whether you're a business or a leisure traveler, that's important. The accessibility via metro, the accessibility to 3 major airports from Montgomery County is huge. A lot of the priority overall, though, is if we have a big event coming like the U.S. Open or the AT&T, we'll work around those events in advance to make sure that everybody in the community is aware it's coming, but also market it so that a lot of people come and visit the county during that time.
Give us an idea of the most popular places that people like to visit in Montgomery County.
Well, a little secret about Montgomery County is the C&O Canal National Historical Park is kind of one of our gems, and over 1 million people a year will come through that park alone. So, you know, we kind of take advantage of it being here and forget it's here, and people just have to remember it is a national park and it's a gem, and over 1 million people are enjoying it every year.
Whoa, look at that guy.
Montgomery County has the largest school system in the state of Maryland, and with close to 150,000 students, safety is a top priority. School safety is a hot topic around the country, and the bottom line, here in Montgomery County, officials are spending millions to keep kids safe and secure.
At this time, we'd like to dismiss our 6th and our 8th graders.
The state of Maryland will spend $25 million this year as part of its school security initiative. The funds are being distributed to all counties based on their proportion of total statewide square footage. Montgomery County will get close to 17% of that money.
What we are doing is we're giving the assurances for parents and for the staff that work in these buildings that they will feel more secure by having certain access points to get into the buildings, to have cameras positioned in certain locations throughout the buildings.
The county is required to match the state grant funds. A total of close to $9 million will be spent on this initiative, which includes 37 additional cameras at county middle schools, 18 cameras at high schools, and it also calls for the installation of 132 hallway cameras at county elementary schools. This proposal will require $1.67 million in new county funding, which council members say is money well spent.
We should do everything feasible to protect people in our schools, children, teachers, staff, and having cameras is a way to know what's going on in the schools if anything happens. So it gives the ability to really understand what a threat is if something happens, and gives the police or the students and the teachers and staff in the school, the ability to know what's going on.
I think that the earliest memories of our children should not be that schools are scary places where there have to be police officers with guns to protect us. So we're going to do all that we can to keep the building secure without having the sense that children should be afraid when they're in the buildings that something bad is going to happen to them.
In western Montgomery County, there's an organization that's totally dedicated to rescuing abused and neglected farm animals. In this week's Montgomery Moment, we take a trip to the Poplar Springs Animal Sanctuary in Poolesville.
My name is Terry Cummings, and my position is I'm the co-director and co-founder of Poplar Spring Animal Sanctuary, which is a 400-acre refuge for abused and abandoned farm animals. We don't take injured wildlife. We're mostly a sanctuary for farm animals. We started because we felt there was a real need for a refuge for farm animals. A lot of our animals actually come from the city. Chick, 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 chick. A lot of our chickens and sheep and goats have actually been found in DC. And he was rescued from a parking lot. Someone had taken 6 baby chicks and tied them up in a plastic bag and just left it in a parking lot, a giant parking lot. And somebody just happened to hear peeping coming out of the box, and so they opened it and found these little baby chicks. Harrison was one of the survivors. There are a lot of sanctuaries for dogs and cats and even horses, but not so much for cows and pigs and goats. This is Emily. She is totally blind. She was born blind, and her owner just abandoned her when she was a little calf. Zachary is our youngest goat, and he was found on somebody's deck in Greenbelt. It was January, and he was left outside in the cold and -degree weather. Farm animals, unfortunately, are exempt from all the anti-cruelty laws that would apply to like a dog or cat. Gloria, you want a little banana? We have about 200 rescued animals, and once they come here, they get to live here for the rest of their life.
It's nice that they have somewhere to come where everyone's going to love them and take good care of them. I think my favorite part of working here is just when the animals come up and they want to be loved. It feels really good to be able to give them the love that they want.
Some of them came from the worst situations, but in the end, it's what saved their life.
The 400-acre Poplar Springs Animal Sanctuary is entirely run by donations. You can visit their website at animalsanctuary.org. Well, that wraps it up for this edition of The Bottom Line. For County Cable Montgomery, I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for watching.